I'm really aware of my authenticity. I'm really aware of my gifts. I'm really aware of the impact my present holds and my presence holds and the space I can hold for people. But then, every now and then there's, just these limiting kind of thoughts that trickle in, or self-doubt that just kind of trickles in. And so I think I'm in this place of exploring that and exploring what does my system need in order to ease into this, or what am I doing that is actually, creating a little alteration on the system that is creating these thoughts to be more present.
I want to heal people with my story of healing Tourette's. So I had Tourette's growing up my whole life for 10 years. I did this deep inner work where I went back and visited my 2, 3-year-old, 4-year-old self all the way until 21. And I dealt with it and grieved with it like I should have done back then, until there was no pain, no association between the memory and the feeling. It was almost like it wasn't me. That's how I knew that part was healed. And then all of a sudden at 21, there was no thoughts because I'd worked it all out. And the Tourette's mysteriously disappeared.
My main passion and drive is to awaken the lights, like reawaken the light within women that feel like they have completely lost their light and, lost their connection to their divine feminine. So I walk women through a sacred process of 108 days, and we go through the nitty-gritties. I have a full 4-phase program that, we start by really calming the nervous system, stabilizing the nervous system, and then going through a series of remembrance and reconnection of childhood, ancestral things, womb healing, all of these things, so that we can, anchor that remembrance into the body and unwind and untie, to then really emerge where we can devote to natural rhythms that nourish us, and we can be unapologetically, authentically us.
Just quickly, I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone who still listens to the podcast. I started 4 years ago, and since then I've had over 1 million downloads. I get 5,000 downloads per month, and I've had over 200 different guests. So a massive thank you to everyone who still listens. If you could please do me a favour, if you could rate and review the podcast, that will be amazing, because it helps get the podcast out to new, conscious people like yourself. And my goal is to awaken as many people around the world. You can also follow me on Instagram. It's YesKingOliver, should you wish to see what I get up to on my day-to-day moments. Back to the episode.
So one of the things that I'm becoming aware of as I get older in life is, can I get more present than I already am? And one of the things that I'm actively working on is, when I become aware of a situation where I'm slightly getting worried or stressed, I remember past situations and times where it happened similarly, and there was no stress, there was no problems that ever occurred. For the last 6 years, the same little mindset I might have in a situation, no problem ever happened. So why would it suddenly happen now? And it's reminding myself that I've always done things like this. I've always trusted my intuition. It's always worked out. And getting into the state of, when I can sense this narrative coming back, instantly reminding myself, this has never been an issue. The universe has got you. You wouldn't have done these actions if it was going to cause you distress. So completely let it go, completely surrender to the situation, knowing that in the future, I'll look back and I'll realize, of course, there was never going to be an issue, because I've done it so many times and there's never been an issue.
Absolutely. And you've lived so many lives before this one where you've done it 1,000 times over and over again. So you have it all within you to do it.
And we're tuning into the energies and thoughts of every human being that has ever existed, and what happened when they were in a situation. Did they worry about a situation? Yeah. And then they move forward and they look back and they go, oh, there was nothing to worry about. So it's like the human collective consciousness confirming to the other humans, you don't have to worry about it, because you wouldn't have been in the situation if it was going to cause you issues, and you've learned from past experiences.
Amen. This is what carried me through birth. Like, literally, I free birthed all my 3 kids, and my whole collective thought in those moments was exactly that. Like, how many women have birthed before me in this manner, and it all worked out? And how many times have I birthed in this manner, and it's always worked out? So that has carried me through so many experiences.
Yeah, it's like when you fly on a plane, back of your mind, you might be like, oh, what if the plane like falls out the sky? What if it crashes? And that's just general fear. Like the logic for a plane to just fall out the sky is actually very hard. The plane will kind of just guide or glide down back to the earth. And the more it pushes, the harder it is for it to go down. So it's not just going to fall out the sky. And then you think about how millions of planes around the world are flying right now. Absolutely no problem. So why would this plane be any different? And it's that same mindset of this has happened many times before. Many people have flown around the world, no problem. Millions are giving birth right now, no problem. There's always the opposite to everything, the polarity, yin and yang, black and white, negative, positive. That comes it's part of it.
Yeah.
But always focusing on the positive side to it, remembering that there's small minimal chances that the negative will happen, and just going back to that positive headspace.
Absolutely. Or even if like, I mean, you do it beautifully as you've been talking about, but accepting any of the negative or accepting any of the narrative that comes in that isn't maybe in line with what you know as an expansion, as a portal, as something that is, you know, allowing you to step through something, to break through something, to create a different pattern and a different way of life.
Yeah, I see it in my mind as like the pendulum going from left to right, left to right, left to right. And the aim is for it to go left, right, as in negative, positive, becoming aware of your positive thoughts, negative thoughts, negative thoughts, until you end up in the middle and it's so still, where if a negative thought comes in, you nip it in the bud immediately, and then the pendulum swings immediately to the positive side. And if you keep applying that mindset, you technically should get to the middle where it's like neutral. So there's no negative, but because things are automatically supposed to be positive, you're just like gliding, you're just like aware of everything, and you're not attached to the positive or the negative. You're like pinpointed in the middle of the pendulum where there's no negative thought. You're just like there. You're just on the plane. There's no negative thought or positive thought. It's just, I'm on the plane, you know?
Amen. Literal presence at its finest.
What are you thinking about lately that you're trying to work out?
It's a good question. I was actually going to ask you that exact same thing. So that's interesting that that came up as to like
As in like right now?
As in right now, I was going to ask you, what is this like most common reoccurrent thought that is coming up for you?
What country are you in?
I'm in Colombia, South America.
Fuck, it's miles away.
Yeah.
What am I thinking about? Well, lately, I'm opening up different portals where I'm like just I'm following my intuition like a dog following a scent, right? You don't know where it's going to go, but the dog just follows the scent and then it will just lead to somewhere. By doing that, I'm literally connecting to people that I've literally just thought about or reached out to. For example, I was in a place a few days ago. I saw someone on the park bench who I thought was my friend. I realized it wasn't him. He doesn't even live here. And then he messages me today and he hasn't done that for 6-7 months. And he just says, hey bro, how you doing? I was like, great, universe. Another thing, just forgot what that thing was. Oh yeah, another thing. I closed the WhatsApp chat of somebody because I haven't really spoke to them for a while. I like to keep my WhatsApps in order. If you're in my life, chat's open. If you're not, I delete it just because I need order. That.
Yeah.
I go to an ecstatic dance and I go down the pathway to try and park my big van that I live in, and I couldn't. So I had to reverse up and park somewhere else. That perfect timing meant that after I parked the car and I walked down the hill, he then starts walking next to me. And I literally deleted his chat the same day. And so the timing of like me parking the van was so perfect for me to align with him. It's like every thought is going to manifest. It's fucking amazing.
Especially when you're in that presence portal where it's like it happens and it happens so fast that you can barely even keep up with it because it's all around.
Yeah, and what's amazing is the more you become aware of this, the more it happens. And my friend who is also a master at manifestation, he reminded me, don't get too excited when it happens, because what that means is it's almost like you're shocked that the universe works like this. He says the universe works like this. So don't put any attention on, I can't believe it happened, because it's something to do with, it will change the behavior of it. It's like you're just in the flow of it and it's happening. It's like when you're having a baby, it's just coming out. You don't need to become aware of, oh, baby's coming out, I need to squeeze. No, you're contracting naturally, baby's coming out, and it will only flow if you just let it be, instead of observe the fact that, oh my God, I've got a baby coming out. Yeah.
Yeah. You can't like the law of the world, the laws of the universe have to really, you just have to let them guide you without any sort of like, amazement of what's actually happening. It's just, it is happening. It's the reality of the situation.
So yeah, what thing have you been thinking about lately that you've been pondering on?
I'm kind of in this moment of like great expansion. So I feel like, there's a lot of stepping into limiting thoughts that maybe have still lingered in my mind of where I'm supposed to go or how I'm supposed to show up or what I'm supposed to be doing. And so I think that's something that's been really present in my life right now of, okay, what are these lingering thoughts that are still there of limiting beliefs or self-doubt in myself and what I can do and what I'm here to bring and share. I'm really aware of my authenticity. I'm really aware of my gifts. I'm really aware of the impact my present holds and my presence holds and the space I can hold for people. But then, every now and then there's, just these limiting kind of thoughts that trickle in, or self-doubt that just kind of trickles in. And so I think I'm in this place of exploring that and exploring what does my system need in order to ease into this, or what am I doing that is actually, creating a little alteration on the system that is creating these thoughts to be more present.
And have you pinpointed where these thoughts come from, such as childhood or environment or?
Yeah, I would say childhood, or even just like probably past lives of different things that I've had to overcome and what I've actually come here to do in this time around, right? Like I'm a full believer of like, we're here to be enlightened, and we're here to find that enlightenment and move through life to find Ananda and to just be peace and bliss. And so yeah, I think that there's probably just a lot of karmas that are still lingering there, and deep soul work that needs to be worked through. So I would say definitely some things from my childhood of having to always show up a certain way for, find the approval. I'm an only child, find the approval of my mom, find the approval of my dad. But I'm sure that there's past life things as well that are coming up, and just it's a beautiful inclination of, okay, there's a need for expansion there, and there's a need for more presence and really deeply understanding, what is the root of this.
So when you said Ananga, right?
Ananda.
Like elaborate more on that.
Yeah, Satchidananda, like the yogic term of just pure and ultimate bliss, which is like the state of enlightenment that you reach once you're, you've overcome all these karmas and you've overcome all of these ties of human experience.
Would you say that you are trying to get to that state yourself?
I've lived moments of that state, Oliver, and it's like I've lived moments where I can say it's lasted 5 minutes, it's lasted 10 minutes of bliss that I can't even describe. Maybe even like a bliss that I felt as I was tripping on acid years ago. Something that you can't describe what's actually happening, but there's that sensation of just pure wholeness and unity and peace and bliss.
It's funny because I did LSD for the first time and I didn't realize it was called acid. But yeah, that feeling of when I was lying down and just hearing the music and seeing all these like patterns, it is the
Oh
most
yeah.
profound experience. And like, you know, learning to find that kind of DMT high yourself through like breath work or meditation is amazing. But I think doing these drugs allows you to recognize and know what that state is you're seeking. Because if you're like trying to experience a bliss state and you haven't done any psychedelics before, like you don't know what you're looking for. Doing a substance like mushrooms or DMT or LSD gives you like a
Ayahuasca.
reference point, so you can do certain things and then you're like, oh, this just feels very similar to the LSD, so I can do it more. And eventually, if you keep doing that, you might be able to get to that same state or similar to that state, to then learn how to create yourself, which will be the ultimate goal, to feel that same feeling that these substances can get you to, but you don't need the substance.
Yeah, so I guess like in your own experience, have you, before doing LSD, had you had any similar experiences without the drug?
No. So whenever I did mushrooms, it was always like 0.5, and it was just, I was completely aware and just happy and bubbly and chatty and really laughy and funny. When I did the
Yeah.
LSD, it was a complete inwards trip where everything was inwards. Subconscious, unconscious mind was going berserk. I was analyzing and thinking about shit for ages. It was a real deep experience, whilst at the same time feeling this incredible feeling. I've never done anything like it before. I've only done it once. I've not experienced a state like that since. And it is very different. So even like a gram of mushrooms, significantly different.
Oh yeah, very different experience. I can relate to that as well. Just in the sense of, yeah, mushrooms is more of like an outer connection, especially if you're in nature or if, you know, you're surrounded by living organisms. It's very much, it can all kind of come together. Whereas LSD is very much like you can go very inward, and like it's almost time is completely erased and like things elapse, and then it's, yeah, really interesting.
And it makes me think, right, you know, it really did rewire parts of my brain that needed rewiring. And I don't understand how
Absolutely.
people can like take it as a party drug. Like imagine dancing and doing that. It's like, how were you not just going in? How were you aware and dancing? I mean, unless you take a small amount, maybe, but it's just, you just like, I had to go in. There was nothing else to do. And then the voice just took over and started working out shit. I don't understand how people take it as a party drug.
Yeah, it's, I mean, the whole holding intention with what you're doing, I think it's just a lot of people are doing it to escape this world that they're in right now and escape
Mm-hmm.
their reality. There hasn't been any form of, you know, internal connection before that. And so it's for them, it's just a way to escape, right?
Mm. Yeah, it's a good
Yeah.
point. It's almost like they want to feel it's anything other than what they normally feel. And it could be anything. It could be alcohol, it could be cocaine, it could be ket. Whereas unconsciously, if I'm taking this, knowing that I want to have an awakening or want to experience something or work something out, automatically my brain's gonna be seeking things to undo and want that action, even though I may consciously want to just party with music. It's almost like it knows that there's going to be more deeper work to do, and it isn't just going to be a party drug where you might as well have just done, say, cocaine, which I've never done. This is going to be something that will change your life, and it did. And I do believe that these things should be done when you are seeking something and not just done for the sake of it. Like these days, all these hallucinogenic drugs like say Cambo and DMT and Hape and mushrooms and
Yeah.
ayahuasca, they're now becoming like normalized in the conscious community where it's just like doing cocaine and weed for the average normal person. And it's like, this is powerful shit. There has to be a purpose. You can't just be doing it. Otherwise, you're just using it as a way of justifying that. It's like you've got the normal people doing coke and weed. You're basically
Yeah.
a drug addict. You're justifying it because it's medicine. No, you're a drug addict. No different to those people
Mm,
doing it.
totally. Totally. I actually just had a conversation. One of my friends, she's a Harvard graduate, and she studies like psychedelic assisted therapy. That's what she studied. And her main thing is like psilocybin. She works with mushrooms, and she went back to like the history behind mushrooms and how they used to do it in like Oaxaca, Mexico. And there was like a, you know, a medicine woman who brought these, she'd call them like like little saint children. The mushrooms were saint children because mushrooms can act like, I guess, as these children, and like they can play tricks on you, and they can like, you know, make you feel really happy and giddy. And so just how like, if there is no intention when you're going into ceremony, and it's just kind of like, I'm just gonna, you know, pop these mushrooms and go, it's like it can be detrimental, because, you know, everything that comes up within these experiences holds an intention for you and your experience and the layers of you, and everything is meant to really unravel a little bit more. And so intention is the most important part of any of these psychedelic journeys. If there is no intention, it's like you say, it's literally like you're just smoking a bowl or a bong.
It's like when, you know when we want something, we're going to ask for it. And I realized from experience that if I had this like default like thing of what I want to happen, yes, of course, you've got to let it go and you've got to not think about it. But it's almost like you put it out there, you know what you've put out there, but you're still in the back of your mind expecting it to happen. But if you're now thinking about something else, that thing doesn't always necessarily come. So the difference is that thinking about it and letting it go, but sort of still waiting for it to come, versus thinking about it, moving on to the next. When I specifically ask, it comes very quickly. But if I have this default, oh, it's coming, it doesn't come. It's this weird thing that I've realized. I have to like become aware that I've asked and expect it to come. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
I've got to be aware that I'm expecting it to come without having to ask for it again. Whereas asking about it, say last week, and waiting for it to come, it doesn't come. It's a different energy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. It's almost like that belief of like, once you ask, know that it's already yours, and then forget about it.
But I'm relating it to the intention thing. So if you go into something and you haven't set an intention, that's the same as I haven't actually asked. The minute you ask, the minute you will experience what you deep down really want when you do it. That's kind of what I'm getting at.
Yeah. Or like, but I don't know, like sometimes do you think we get what we want, or do you think we get what we need?
Or we get what we need
Yeah.
over what we want, but because we are in control of ourselves, then we can choose to override that thing which is in front of us that we know we might need, and choose to have what we want. So we should have a nice healthy meal, but then we might see a pizza and choose to get the pizza. Depends on how like much we really want to be in alignment to what we know is true versus what isn't.
Yeah. Amen. Where are you from, Oliver?
I'm from London.
Oh, okay. Do you live in London right now?
I used to live in a conscious community, which is made up of loads of conscious light workers, healing types of people. So the aim is to create like a festival scene where you live with the festival scene, and you wake up and every day is like a festival. You've got all your friends, you do like ceremonies and circles, yoga, breathwork, sauna, workshops, and that's your literal life. But
Wow.
I've moved out, I'm living in a camper van for a bit because I'm going traveling. I decided to not go traveling for the past 10 years because I wanted to create a business where I could travel forever and work when I was out there, versus having to work for ages, save up, travel, come back, work to go out. It's like I knew what the future version of me would want, and so I took action. So then that life didn't come true because I knew that would not be the correct one, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Amazing. So you're traveling now. You're out of London and you're cruising through.
Yep, I'm just in Bristol right now in my van. Bristol's a very conscious scene. You could say it's maybe one of the most conscious places in the UK. And a lot of the people here end up traveling around the world to the likes of Bali, Thailand. And if you go to those places and you find somebody from the UK, good chance that, you know, they've been to Bristol or they may live in Bristol. But yeah, the community of light workers is so wide around the world.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And what type of work are you most drawn to?
I want to heal people with my story of healing Tourette's. So I had Tourette's growing up my whole life for 10 years. I did this deep inner work where I went back and visited my 2, 3-year-old, 4-year-old self all the way until 21. And I dealt with it and grieved with it like I should have done back then, until there was no pain, no association between the memory and the feeling. It was almost like it wasn't me. That's how I knew that part was healed. And then all of a sudden at 21, there was no thoughts because I'd worked it all out. And the Tourette's mysteriously disappeared. And then it started coming back when I started thinking about new shit. And that's when I realized, oh, Tourette's symptoms is thoughts. So then I had to control my thoughts to stop me from twitching, to the point where I'm in complete awareness. And the method and techniques and systems that I put in place and did back then, such as ordering my entire bedroom so I knew where everything was, going through my phone, my emails, my images, my contact list, making sure it's all organized and everything that doesn't need to be there is gone. I want to teach people that same system, because I believe that we're struggling to take control over our brain because life is just so much and it's just too stimulating for everybody. And no one knows where to start to take control over their brain. And I believe that the system that I did will help people take control over their brain. And so I want to teach people the method to then help them teach other people the method of taking control of your brain.
Absolutely. I think that's beautiful. But I think you even have like a beautiful like niche market for yourself, which is people who have Tourette's. Like, how would you feel working with people with Tourette's?
That's literally my next thing. I manifested somebody who had Tourette's, has Tourette's, and within a day, he was in the camper van here, and I was healing him. He wasn't twitching for 20 minutes non-stop, and he's never had a period of that where he's not twitched. So that's the first time I've ever done it. I've always known that I can do it. That's the example, that's the evidence. And now it's about finding other people with Tourette's and then essentially getting them all on a call and then taking them through it. And if that works, then now we've got to meet in person and then do it. And that's where the next big thing will come from, because it's not just Tourette's, it's OCD, it's ADHD, it's anxiety, it's depression, it's insomnia. It's all the same shit.
Totally. But you start with what you know and what you've already done and overcome, right? Like that's like your zero moment. I feel like, I mean, do you have like, so as a lot of the work that you do, does it have to be in person, or can it be done this way, like the way you and I are talking?
No, literally, it's just talking. It's just things to do, such as reaching out to everyone who you've held a grudge against and forgive them, right?
Wow.
Paying back any debts that you don't have. Getting money from people that owe you money. If you've got clothes that your friends have got, get it back. Give other people's belongings back. And essentially, all of these things cause small amounts of stress in our body. And often we can get it done right now, but we've got so much shit to do that you have this like underlying stress state mixed with, oh fuck, I've got to do this, that you live in this like constant default nervousness. And so when you do all this shit like in a 3-week period and like, you know, sort your bedroom out so there's no stress trying to find stuff, you realize, fuck, I've just been in this constant stress my entire life. So undoing all these knots allows people to feel this sense of freedom for the first time. And then when new shit comes into your life, you can literally take action now because you're up to date in your thoughts. So yeah, anyone can do it anywhere in the world. It doesn't have to be in person. This is like just methods of how to gain control of your life.
Yeah. I mean, you should create a course and sell it.
I have the course on my website. I'm just doing some tweaks where I'm trying to get people to do like a 30-day trial course where I teach them and they can teach other people.
Right. Or like a 7-day purge, something quick that can get like a quick win and you just kind of go through the basics or something, I think would be really interesting. I call it a purge because that's what I got the word of, just like, okay, what am I doing? And I'm like purging all of this like mental clutter that's been taking up space and causing my nervous system to just go haywire. And I need to declutter, I need to purge so that I can find this organization and structure.
So you think it should be called a purge? So it's almost like a quick, like let's say there's 60 different videos and 60 different things to do, right? Which there is. You're saying like choose the most powerful 7 and then do like a quick 7-day purge to see like, fuck, that was powerful. Like that was life-changing as it is.
Yeah, Oliver, you need a free resource that you bring people in with. So if you call it, comment this word, I'll give you the 7-day free purge. That's going to like literally rewire your life in 7 days. I think that would be
Excellent. I will I will sit on that and adapt, because that is something that is a real-time download of what to do next. I'm literally editing the website now, and so that will be in my brain, and yeah, that'll be part of it. What exactly do you have a passion for that you do most days?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm a yogi at heart, so there's always like breath work, meditation, some form of asanas on my day to day, but my main passion and drive is to awaken the lights, like reawaken the light within women that have feel like they have completely lost their light and, you know, lost their connection to their divine feminine and, you know, been controlled by these ways of thinking for a very long time. And that's what I do. So I walk women through a sacred process of 108 days, and we go through the nitty gritties. I have a full 4-phase program that, you know, we start by really calming the nervous system, stabilizing the nervous system, and then going through a series of remembrance and reconnection of childhood, ancestral things, womb healing, all of these things, so that we can, you know, anchor that remembrance into the body and unwind and untie to then really emerge where we can devote to natural rhythms that nourish us, and we can be unapologetically, authentically us, and then move into this full state of dharma where I'm living through what I'm actually supposed to be doing, and I can own my purpose and move forward unapologetically.
I love how you called it 108 days. So obviously I know why it's called 108, but did you find that you had to like add stuff so it reached 108, or had to like shorten stuff so it was 108, or was it like perfectly like the most perfect like thing to do each day until 108?
Yeah, so I mean, like the 4-phase system could probably be done in less than 108 days, but I want women to commit to that amount of days. So I give them time to like play around with different modules and pillars if something really resonates. And so they also don't feel like there's a time crunch. It's basically like come in and experience like each module and each thing as a sacred ritual and as a sacred ceremony, and see what comes up for you. And if it's something that, you know, like there's this one module that most women really stick with, and it's like a holotropic breath, which you, I'm sure, are very aware of, but, you know, kind of getting into those states of psychedelic through breath. And they usually stick with it and linger with it for a little bit longer, because there's always this effect of traveling back and coming back to a memory and being able to release that memory and really understanding. Like, you know, something that really stuck with what you said to me was, you know, when you were healing your Tourette's, you went back to this childhood moment. Like, was there a precise moment, or was there a series of experiences?
Well, this is the most profound thing. It's that I came off the medication, and because the medication had suppressed my brain and my thoughts for 10 years, it just happened automatically, where I went on a thinking rampage. So rather than thinking, twitching, taking the medication and not getting a breakthrough, it was like that every day for 10 years just went, and I was just in my head thinking nonstop for 3 weeks. It was like the gates of the rivers just opened, and it was just constant thoughts and thoughts and thoughts. And before I knew it, 3 weeks later, I was done thinking, and there was nothing to think about. It just happened. I didn't realize what I was doing. It was just, I just was thinking excessively until it was all gone. So it wasn't like I had control.
That's really interesting. I actually have a friend who, you know, same kind of story, but with ADHD, and from a very young age, he was medicated his whole life, and his parents were always like, okay, you just, you know, you have to take this medicine. And then I think he turned 19. He was like, I'm done. And it was like the same thing. He says it was the same. It was like a floodgate of like, holy, like, I like actually feeling emotions and understanding things that come up, because all of that is really just, it just kind of suppresses, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It's yeah, like just the like basic stuff I suddenly understood, which I'd never understood, like just basic stuff. It's like the power of these medications are just, it's insane. It's like the downloads that people get, which is why their brain is active. They need to know how to channel that information. Otherwise it will just go around in their head, and then the symptoms occur, and then the outside people see that person is different than the rest, and therefore they make them like the normal people. But really, it's just we've got open chakras and whatever, that we're getting access to more information than most people. And if we're young enough, we don't really know what to do with this. And that's really all it is. We're just getting access to information, and our brain is just going berserk. Yeah, and these are the people that change the world, really. Yeah.
Yeah, super powerful. I think it's really amazing. I mean, what you've been able to accomplish. And I just like, my mind obviously just goes to like the infinite possibilities with what you're doing and just the beauty behind it. And I mean, with social media these days, like the ability to actually reach out to so many people that are probably really struggling with Tourette's and all of these things that could definitely benefit from something like
So
this.
I
that
like
you're
the fact, yeah, I like what you said, which was, you don't want to put pressure on people to complete a course, because something in there they might need to sit with for a bit. And we do need deadlines, otherwise we never really get shit done. But it's almost like a deadline is, you got plenty of time. There's no excuse not to complete it. But if there's something here that resonates with you more than the other stuff, it's very important to sit with it longer. Because the whole point is that we're healing, and it is a process. So allowing people to sit with something longer than other things, that's quite powerful. That was good.
Yeah, yeah. And everybody has their own path, right? It's like there's a million paths, and you can introduce them to, a million different things that worked for you. But I'm sure there's like one or two that really stood out for you specifically. And that might be different for someone else. But, out of the hundreds of things that you can introduce, there's going to be a few that are going to really stick out for that person, right? It's giving access to the information and allowing them to do their own self-exploration of what really sits and lands for them.
What is the most magical thing that you enjoy about putting people through a course?
Just seeing the lights come back to their self, there's this one woman that really sticks out to me the most that has gone through my course. And I remembered like taking a sales call with her. She was completely, ridden with trauma and anxieties and, struggles with, losing her children due to like a custody battle. Like 35 years later, she still doesn't know her kids and they don't like her. Like just lots of really painful shit. And for her to go through the program and just have this whole new sense of life in her and what is the truest and highest purpose, and being able to understand, the true meaning behind all of those experiences that she had to live through and step through, and have these experiences now be portals to her higher good. I think that to me is the most, heartwarming experience of doing what I do.
And what's amazing is it doesn't have to be millions. It can literally be one, right? To get that feeling of like fulfillment. We think like it's got to be thousands and millions. No, literally one. It can be, and is often enough, right?
Yeah. And I mean, it happens. I do a lot of in-person work as well. And it happens a lot in person where, like, you finish guiding people through a session or holding space for them, and there's a release of tears or whatever. And then they look at you after and they're just like, thank you. And they just give you the biggest hug. And it's like, I didn't even do anything. I've just been here holding space for you, right? Like you did it all yourself. You were able to like fully surrender to this moment and be present and just allow for whatever to happen. And that's beautiful, just to be able to, yeah, get people out of this matrix and into what's real.
Yeah. People knowing what they want but don't know where to look. We point them in a direction where to look, and then they find what they're looking for. It's so simple and it's amazing.
It is amazing. It's a really beautiful thing. Really beautiful thing.
If you had one day left to live, what is the one thing that you would tell the rest of the world?
Oh, that is a very powerful question. I would say just breathe.
Okay, any particular way or?
Just breathe, and breathe. Breath is like the key to life. It's the key to everything. Just breathe.
Okay, and anything you want to promote or plug before we finish?
No, I love this conversation. There's zero promotion here. If you liked what you heard, check me out on Instagram, and that's basically it.
Thanks for listening. If you like this episode, please remember to subscribe, turn the bell notifications on, like the episode, and comment below. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's YesKingOliver. Take a look at the other videos to your side. And if you just want to listen to this podcast, you can do so on Apple and Spotify and most other platforms by going to talkwitholiver.com.